Hello and welcome again to our coding. So earlier we did something called we discussed the JavaScript basics. Now right now we'll be writing code and running it and seeing our output. Now for example, if you want to print a hello world, we start by console log. We will be using CodeChef as our IDE. So we'll use console.log. Just like that. So the good thing about this IDE is very helpful. So it will help us because it has a lot of features built in already. So what we are doing is basically typing and it produces it for us. So console log hello world. So this is our first code. If we run this code, our output should appear here, and there it is, hello world. Our code did run. Number two, we did learn about variables, and in variables, I'm gonna remove this. In variables, we did learn about the let variable. Let variable, let's say the num equals, so that's our name, and then we did the const variable. Let's put the const variable to be the year, and the year, let's say 2026. That's it. Lastly, let's put the var variable. You see the let variable is used for changing if something is always changing, you can use the let, but the const is something that's not changing, and the var variable is something that has been used, that is not being used, is something in the past. So let's put our age at 30, and there we have it. Now to display this, skip a few pages. Console log in braces. Now what we're going to print inside the console.log is the name first, then braces. Now console.log, what we're going to print here, the year, something else very interesting, and lastly console.log, let's print out the age. And that's it. So if we run our code again, the submission is queued. We have zral 2026 and 30. So that's it about variables. Next, we're going to take a look at the data types. So for the data types, let's do this. Let's clear all this. I advise you to be typing as I'm typing so that you get to learn these things when you type. Let message. Let our message be something like hello. It's a string, so we learned string as one of the data types. Let's say it becomes hello. That's it. We end with curly braces. Now what we have here is simply a string. That's it. Let's keep. Then let's go to another data type. let's call this number, something we learned earlier. Now in number, let's use let the score be a number, let's say a number 50, and that's it. Then we come to something called boolean. Now boolean now let's use let uh, something like this is we're creating a boolean. No, so notice I use a small letter, but the second letter is it becomes a capital letter, and I in will be a capital I. Let's put it at true, something like that. Our third thing that we did learn is the empty value. For example, let no, our third data type empty value. Now we're going to let our empty value. So let's say call this empty value to be equal to null. And lastly, unified, something that's unified. So on my previous video I was discussing this JavaScript basics. Now is the coding basic. This is a coding basic that you need to know. Now let's just do this. We are declaring a variable let future value. Now we're going to leave it that way because, and lastly, let's do an array. This is an array. An array. Now, an array. Let's call an array fruits. Fruits array equals to. These are the braces that I use in an array. First we have the apple. Then what next? Banana. We'll put a comma. Banana. And the comma and the last fruit. To be explaining this, let's put the cherry. So those are three fruits, and then remember to put the curly braces. So we have declared 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have declared 6 variables. And these variables shows the data types that are there in JavaScript. So we have the array, unified, empty, boolean, number, and the string. Now, so let's print out all these variables. Now, console.log. So what I'm going to do this, I'm going to just create something like that, and then what I'm going to do is do this copy, Control C, and then I'm going to paste all of them. 1, 2, 4 for all the variables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for all the 6 variables. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th one. Now inside I'm going to put the name of the variable. The first one is message. Now the second one becomes the score. The third one is logged in. The third one, the fourth one is the empty value. Right here is the empty value. The fourth one is the future value. And the fifth one, we're going to print the array, which is fruits. The array fruits. So right here, the fruits. Now, if we run this, we expect all this to appear here. Hello, 50, true, null. That's it. So that's just a brief explanation of the data types. So what we are going to do next are operators. So let's just remove this, all of this. Remove this, and then we'll start with the arithmetic operators. The arithmetic. So, of course, how we do this? Console log. Now, how many operators did we discuss? Around five of them. So let's just control V the console log which I had copied, but I will advise you to be typing so that you will understand it very well. We start by the first one, 2. Let's say 2 plus 2. Come to the next. We'll put something like 10 minus 5. Come to the next. We'll put something like 4 multiplied by 6. Come to the next. Let's put something like 8 divided by 2. And lastly, our modulus. Something interesting about modulus is the percentage sign. Use the percentage sign. So let's say 10 modulus 3. Now, all these are arithmetic operators. Now let's come to comparison operators. Just a brief description on and a brief code of how our comparison apparatus looks like. Apparatus. Now, of course, console log. Now, inside, let's put 5 is greater than 3, right? Something else. Console log. 4 is less than 8, of course, and then something else equal to. So our equal to will be like 4 on there, right here. Let's say 5. 4 is equal to 2 equal sign to 5, something like that. Now, those are a couple of comparison operators. Now let's look at something else. We can look at logical operators. Logical operators and logical. Now, to write a statement, you do 2 slash signs in JavaScript. You have to use 2 slash signs in JavaScript. Now, there are 3 of them. Logical operator. Now, the first, let's say true and false. And this is the AND operator. The second one is OR. True. I think now I've never used an OR operator, so I'll be looking at it. That's the AND modulus. So here, I think that, not that one. Mhm. True. Woohoo. There you have it. True and false. Yep. And the last one is the not operator. Now this is an exclamation not true. Now booleans are very interesting in building logic gates, where boolean understands only ones and zeros, and the logic gates you will get to understand it more. First of all, if you're learning it in JavaScript, it's very the last the last thing we need to know is the assignment. The assignment operator. The assignment operator. In the assignment operator, let's use the let x be something like 10. Uh-huh. Then we come to say like this: x minus equals. Now we're using the assignment operator there. Minus equals 5. What we mean by that, we just mean 10 minus 5. So don't get this is the assignment. It's very simple. Instead of you using the arithmetic, you can use the assignment operator. An example we can do also. Now we can console log x and put x there to find an answer. Also, you can come and say x equals, because you're using the let, so its values can change. Plus or no, x equals x plus equals 2. Just like that. Then we print it out. Let's do x. So below is a description and a written code telling you all about JavaScript uh, operators. So if you run it, now expect our output to be here, where console log and untrue. Now we have an error where now logical operators. Syntax missing after the argument. So what's the syntax missing? Closing. Well, I'm saying the closing tag. What's the problem? Let's ask the AI to explain for us. Here is because we're using. Oh, we use the dollar sign. Really sorry there. We need to use the unsigned. That's very useful while using code chef. Now you can see. Now you can see the first 2 plus 2 of course is 4. 10 minus 5 is 5. 4 times 6 is 24. 8 divided by 2. Now 10 divided by 3. This is 1. It gives you the remainder. After 10 divided by 3, your 3 goes into 10 3 times. 9, remainder 1. The remainder is 1, so you get 1 there. Comparison logic. 5 is greater than 3, 4 is less than, true, and then 4 is equal to 5. That's a false one. Logical operator. True, true, and false. I get a false. True, 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 or false. It gives you a false. not true, the answer should be false. X is equals to 10, then x minus 5, we get that, and then our x became 5. If we add 2 to 5, it becomes 7, and that's it. While we're discussing about operators. So next we'll be doing strings. Mhm. Uh, So let's do something like this. Let greetings. It's greetings. Let greetings be something like hello. So normally greetings is hello. Then let person. Let the greeting has to greet someone. Person, which is me. We like so. And then the full message. Let the full. Remember capital M. Message equals. Now something we'll be using here. We'll be using this. First is the dollar sign here, and then we do this for the greeting. Then let's put a comma there, and then another dollar sign for the person. For the person, let's put an exclamation marks after that. So here becomes person, and then here becomes the greetings. Now, what we're going to console log here is the greetings. Console log where we're going to the full message actually, not the greetings. Oh no. Console log the full message there. Now if we run it, I think the program should say hello zral. There's a bit of a problem there. Trying to look at it and find where the problem is. Now this. I think if you see the problem, why is I'm saying the problem is here. I think we have not done that. Let's just do that and run. Now we have this here. Let's debug this code again. Let's put a comma again. So I don't know where I did wrong. Maybe is the marks, the exclamation marks. But I will explain further about this string. Now let's go to something else. Conditionals. That you've seen, you just printed out a message. I wanted the program to run something like hello Kevin, hello Zral. Yeah. So what I will do, I will come back to this later. By the end of the class, I will do a bit of research about that. Now conditionals. Now conditionals, we did learn about the if condition. Now let's put something like let age to be something like 20, 23. Yeah. Now use the if condition. If the age the age is greater or equal to, let's say 18. What do we do? The condition now, something that has to be met here is we console log and print. What do we print here? We print adult. If you saw the first video, you'll know now. But we can put an else if, and let's say inside the else if we put another parameter which will be like age. If age is greater or equal to 13, greater or equal to 13. So then something to be printed out is console log. Then let's put 13. Someone is a teenager now. Now our last else will have no condition, so it just become else. Then what to be printed out? Remember, always the console log has that, but the else doesn't have. So what will print out is something like child. Now here what we are learning is actually the if conditions. So if you run it, adult, because we let our age become 23. So what if we change here to be something like 12? And if we run it, it has said child. So let's go some change here again to something like 14. It has said a teenager. Very simple like that. And that's a bit about conditionals and using the if conditions. Now what I'll go next, I'll teach you about loops. And the loops are very repetitive. The first loop what we will do is the for loop. Now the for loop for now let's let I to start from 0. Then I to be less than equal to 5. If you remember this, and then I plus. That's a nice for loop that we've created. And of course this, and then we console log I. Console log the I. So this program is expected to print numbers from 1 to, if you run it, it prints numbers from 0 to 5. Yeah, now that's a for loop. Next we'll do a while loop. So if we let a count to be something like 0, let's start from 0. Simple. And then a while loop like that. Then count is less than, let's put it 10. And then when that counts, no, not there, we go here, then we do that, enter, then console log the count, while you console log the count, then we have to say count plus plus to end it. Count plus plus. We expect it to do the count up to 10, something like that. So if you run it, I'll take out the output. So our first output was up to here, then this up to 10. Let me remove the 4 so that you see it clearly. And there it is. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Up to 9, yeah, it's up to 9. Since we are doing less than 10. So the third thing we learn is functions. Now, let's create a function called greet. So we start by function, call this function greet. Now inside the function, function always have something like this. This is a function parameter. And inside, let's call it name. So the function expected to greet the name. Now, very simple. I'm telling you, JavaScript is a very good language and a very simple language. Function name, and inside the name we need to return, because it's a function. We have to return something. Now, so if we return, let's say something like hi. Yeah, we have that. Hi. Now, what we will be doing is that the dollar signs now comes here. Dollar sign, then the curly braces to be inside. Then we put the name here. The name. We can do something like that to return. And then, now that's the function that we have created. And expect it to create the name. Now, if this function, now this is function calling. Now, in this function calling, let's put something like greet who. Now the name. Let's put zral as the name, as the first name. It greets zral. Now, also we can add something else. Greet who. Greet. Let's see. Kevin. Expect this function, if we run it, it's going to greet. It's going to say hi to I don't know. The problem is in the function declaration. I think we should put at this there. Now, I'll be explaining further why we get this when a little bit of research, but those are how to declare a function in JavaScript. Next, we are going to do the arrow functions here. But I advise you to use the arrow function. For example, first add equals to, let's put A, comma, B, something like that. Now, if we do something like this, equal to, should be a 1 equal to under, something like that, for us to declare this function. And we say A plus B. That's the first one. The second one, let's do const double. No, let's console log this. Control V. Let's console log and do the add. And inside that add, let's do something like 5 plus equals to plus 6. Something like that. 5 plus 6. I expect this thing to add. Now the second one is cos square. So in our cos square, equal sign cos square equals to n, and in the function that we created, the function is equals to, just like that we declared the function n multiplied by n to find the square. Then just like that we'll declare that variable, and then console log the square, and then we put a number inside that square. Console log. What we're going to do is this square, and inside here we put, let's say a number 5. From the square 5. Let's run this code. None. This is 25. The square has a run. Plus b, a plus b. Maybe put some space in here. Very, very important. No, I didn't come out, but our oh yeah, always shit. So here, I think this is where the problem is. We have to do this. We have to put a comma right here, there. There, it is 11. So we did put a plus sign instead of a comma. Very sorry there. So I'm learning JavaScript for the first time. It's like the first time running this. Now, so after we're done with that, let's go to something else, which are arrays. Now, let's just declare an array. As the array that we did before. Fruits array, just like that. I have to put an equal sign equals to the first one. We had an apple, put a comma. The second one, put a banana. The third one, put a cherry. So that is the three arrays now. Not this array. What we're going to do, something like that. Console log the array. Now we are going to use the index to find, let's say 0 in the array, just like that. 0. Next, let's console log, and inside that console log, let's find the fruit line. Fruits dot line. fruit.length. I think that's the spelling of length. Then now fruits push. Oh, we had something. That's something in the fruits. Haha. Now for us to add something, we just fruits dot push. Fruit.push, and then what we are going to add inside the fruit.push. Let's add another fruit, or let's add something that's not a fruit. Let's add something like date. Just like that. Now let's print the fruit with with I think the name will be added. The date. Now let's run this command. Run this code, and then we see the output. So apple with the 0, the length is 3, and of course the date has been added right here. That's just a bit of array. Now next, what I want us to look at array methods, and we said earlier array that methods are inbuilt. Now what we are going to look at here, and the method that we can discuss. Let's discuss the map method. Let's discuss the map method. Now, the map method, let's say const numbers to represent numbers equals to another array 1, 2, 3, 4. Now those are 4 numbers. Now const double. Now let's do something else. Const double. I can show you a PDF of all these codes, PDF file, and it has slides, or you can do all these codes and run them. So let's nums.map and inside the map we do something like n. Now we remember these functions. N is greater than 2. Then console log double. That's the first one. The second that we are going to take a look at is the filter. Now let's say const filtered. Bar filtered with a double R. Now, we're talking about the filter method, so we have to put something like that. Now, if I want to filter this, what we're going to do equals to nums dot filter. Just like that, nums dot filter. Then remember this, n equal, just like that, to put a filter. Now let's do this. This should be multiplied because we are doubling. Multiplied, and this should filter. This should be filter n equals to and then n greater than 2. Very sorry about that. Remember these braces to put here, put that there, and then console log here, console log, then I do filtered right there, filtered. Our last thing that we are going to look about array methods is the reduce method. Now this const, let's say total, let's call this total. Let's put an equal sign, nums it reduce, and reduce, and the bracket a comma b. A function comes here, declare this function right there as a plus b, shift plus b. Plus the b that we had there. I think should have two curly braces the first one here. Got that one, and then I do that, then console log total. Expect the first one to be doubled, so it becomes 2, 4, 3, and then 3, 4. So something that is greater than 2 in that array. But that's it. That's just so. What we will look next is something called objects. Objects. Now, in our objects, let's create an object. An object called user. Since it's an object, equal to, and then curly braces coming. Now, objects usually contain a lot of things. So inside our object, let's have the name. Name equals to plus the name. Put a comma. Then our age equals to, because since it's an age, no need for that, so let's say 23. Now we put a comma. Then put a function called greet. And we open our braces for this function. Just like that. Just like that. Enter. Great. Now we need to return because it's a function. Return something like this. Then inside the return, let's say and then I comma this. I think what we didn't put earlier was something like this. I saw it. Just like that. And then the curly comes in. Let's see this. Put name So after that, something like that. Now, to this object, of course, an object comes with that. Console log user name. First one, user age, and then user grid. And the control way, the user.age, and then the last is the user grid, just like that. Now, since the grid is a function, it goes to do something like that. So let's run this. So we find an error. There's an error. Let's ask I to explain the error. Explanation JavaScript objects must be defined. Object properties must be defined using columns instead of equals. Additionally, the template return and the grid method requires backticks. I think that's the problem. We have not been using backticks. The first thing I just found this backtick. This backticks. I've never seen a backtick in my console actually. Trying to find it. It's not there. I've never seen a backtick actually. Yeah. What I'm saying is, there it is. Return. Of course, there it is. This name. I think the problem earlier is that we were not using these backticks. But the second thing doesn't use an equal sign here. So you have to use something like that. You have to use something like columns and then backticks. So the other programs that were not running, I think, is we were not using backticks. You have to use a backticks here for this template return. Yeah. So let's run this. Yeah, of course, there it is. It has said hi, zral. Yo, I'm feeling very proud right now. Feeling very happy because of this and learning that here we don't use an equal sign since it's an object, and then here we use a backtick. So we are done with objects. Next we are going to do DOM manipulation. Should we create an HTML? I don't think if we can do an HTML, right? Let's do an HTML because if we want to do HTML, I know HTML here. JavaScript, TypeScript, no HTML. So if you want to do something that manipulates the DOM, and an HTML file. So DOM manipulation, I'll explain it further, but let's do something about async JavaScript. So what we'll be doing, we'll be looking at async JavaScript. Now we start with the async function. That we run an async function, and the function is to get user. Of course, get user. Then since it's a function does that, then our curly comes in or not. This curly braces. Then inside but let me tell you about a async function. I'm not going to be explaining it further. But async functions, you can learn it somewhere else. You can learn it. I will be teaching you. I'll be teaching you how, but we need something like an HTML. We need a real web page for us to use that. But I think you've seen a little bit introduction about JavaScript and the codes that we've done. So there's a code that did not work, and it was about what was it about? I'll do a combined project for which has HTML. Maybe I'll use the console here. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. There was a program that did not work. I think it was the function program where we were to create a name, and since we were to use a template retrievals, and I showed you that if it's not running, let's just type it again because it did not work. Function. Now here it is function. Let's say greet who? Greet the name. So the function, then the name. Greet the name. Then curly braces comes out. The curly ones. Curly braces, and inside let's return. Since it's a function, we have to return. Let's say also we're using this, not this are the later. This is what we have to use, not the other braces. Let's say hi who, hi to the name. Now $sign, then the curly comes in, and then let's say the name. To that place, just put exclamation marks, close it. That's the function. Then let's console log control V. But what is our name? Let's put the name inside there. Well, and then let's run this. Oh, hope it works this time. There it is. Oh, it has just printed our name without the. Oh, we have to put a greet inside here. The greet function. Then open the braces, the curly ones, and then inside. Then close that. Let's run this. Oh. Hi, zral. Wonderful. So that was the code that was not working. Uh, After our first class, we had an exercise. The first exercise was the largest number exercise, and then the second one was testing us to skip multiples of 3. Then the third one was asked for an object. Now, let's do this exercise that we did, that we were asked earlier. If you remember the exercise and what the exercise was saying, actually, the first exercise was find the largest number in an array. Find the largest number in an array. And this was to teach us about and the largest number actually that we are going to find is up to 100. Now this I'll save it. Where the exercise. I'll save it and then I'll leave it for the video so that we can take a look at it. And if we run it and we find the exact answer, we're gonna come here. Where is that? No, I think it was here. It was a landscape PDF. No, it was from the last. If it was here. Now this was write a function that returns the largest number within an array. So that's the exercise that we are going to do right now. Now, for us, we have to start with the function. Now, we come with the function, then the function name, let's call it largest number. It has to find the largest number within an array. The largest number. Where does it find it? Within an array. So that's it. And then we open with our curly braces. Let largest be equal the array. We start with an array. Let's call it ARR. So we call it already ARR. Then let's start with the index. But the index is, let's put it at 0. Something like that. Function largest. Let function be like 0. Now, inside this function, let's put a for loop. Now, this is teaching us two things: conditions and loops. It's teaching us about loops also, arrays and loops, and then the conditions. So we start with the for loop, let. Then inside the for loop, we're going to use let num. This is the number. Num of r. Let num of r. For let num of r. And then open, of course, we put our curly braces there. Now inside there, we're going to put a conditional if num. If our num is greater than largest, then open our curly braces again. Inside here, largest is equals to num just like that. Done. So this, let's return something. Let's return, because we're doing a function, we need to return what? Largest. Just like that. Then we're going to console log. What are we going to console log inside here? Largest number should be the first thing. And inside largest number, we put some curly braces. Largest number, just like that, and then we put now the array of numbers. So let's put 3, 7, 2. We're trying to find the largest number in this array. Then now let's put 9. We can also add something like what? 8. No, that's it. That's the array. So let's run this and see if it will find the largest number in this array, for which we know it's 9 logically, but the code, let's say it will find. It has found it, and it has given us an answer of 9. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to download that code. I've written it, and then we'll call all this, and then after this I'll share with you. But take a look at it. But be typing while I'm typing. Taking it you guys slowly by slowly for us to learn this. Now the second question. Build a counter that logs 1 to 100 but skips multiples of 3. Aha. Exercise 2. Let's remove this. Now what we're going to use here is the for loop. For now let's let our I of course to be. Our counter says from 1. So if our I becomes 1, and then if our I becomes 1, then our I is less than 100 here. And it's less than 100. No. Very simple counter. I plus plus. There we have it. I plus plus. Now here comes the put our curly braces. Whether it's a very simple type of code. Put our curly braces and then say if. I put an if statement again. So it's teaching us two things. This exercise, loops and conditions. Let's put if I, and then since we are trying to find but skips multiples of 3. Since we want to skip multiples of 3, then we modulus with 3. I've told you about modulus. Modulus is something that will give you the remainder. The remainder. If it doesn't, if something is divisible, we saw the earlier time is we did modulus of 10. 10 modulus 3, and it gave us 1. So modulus is the remainder, because if you divide 10 divide by 3, you will get 9, remainder 1. So the remainder it becomes 1. Now something, if the modulus becomes 0, what do we do after that? We do something like this. Continue. Continue. And then before that, we console log and put our id inside that console log. There you have it. So this is another exercise, and I think if we run it, we'll find the output. It's 1, 2, skips 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, goes all the way. Goes all the way to 100. I'll download this again so that we can use it. I can give it to you later so that you can. Now let's come to our third exercise. Make an object representing a book, then print the title. Remember how making an object was. So of course we have to come with something like that. Const, and then object of course becomes book, and then put an equal sign. Sure, it's an object. Then we start with our curly braces, just like that. Inside the curly braces, we put the title of the book. Title of the book. Remember what we did the other time. Title, and then so let's call this book JavaScript Basics. Let's go, and then let's call the author. Remember that. Put the author name. I am the author of this book. Something like that. Of course, you have to remember to put a comma here. After this, then comma. Then let's put how many pages are there. Pages. Put something like 200 pages, just like that. No comma since this is our last. And remember to put that since it's an object. Then we console log, and inside we do the book title. So it becomes book dot title. It's very simple. And then how do we print the book order? Book dot author underscore JavaScript basics on the book order. Just like that. Very simple. For our last exercise, which is reverse a string without using the reverse method. All that, and then our last exercise, which we are going to reverse the string. Now, what we'll do is function. Of course, we start with the function. Then let's call this reverse line. Inside there, let's put test to show that it's a string that we're trying to reverse here. And of course, the curly braces. Then let reversed to be equal auto reverse to be equal to something like that. We don't know. That is there. Since it's a string, I have to put that. Then inside there, let's do a for loop. And inside the for loop, let's let I to be equal to the str, and then after that to be equal to the str dot length. Str length minus 1, and then what to do, the I should be greater than equal to 0, just like that. And then the I minus minus, since we are reversing, we're going to use the I minus minus. Open another curly braces, and then we call the reverse to be plus equal to str, something like that, str, and then we put an I. SCRI. What we are going to do, since it's a function, we are going to return the function. Return. So we're going to return reversed. Close the braces. Now, after that, we're going to console log. Inside the console log, of course, you have to put reversed string, and inside the reverse string, let's put in something. Now, the string that we want to reverse. Put something like javascript. So when you run this code, expect it to be reversed to start from T, P, and then J at the end. So that's all that we need to know. Now, what I'll be taking you to next is a combined mini project that combines both HTML with JavaScript. For you to know this, you need to know about HTML. I don't have a video teaching HTML right now, but I'll be posting one teaching HTML. So keep that in mind, and always do more exercise in your coding. Always code. Do a mini project. I'll be showing an example of a mini project that we will use. And this mini project will have functions, will have HTML, will have variables, and also we will try to use the document object model and manipulate the document object model by creating a button and adding something like an alert, an event listener. Yeah. So have a great one. Have a nice day.